Before I tell you what happened inside the black line, I need you to understand something. For the last 3 years, I have been trying to convince myself that none of it was real. The city called it an accident. The official report blamed the tunnel collapse. The doctors called it trauma. Maybe they're right. Maybe fear twisted my memory. Maybe some exhaustion made me see things that were not true. Maybe exhaustion made me see things that were not there. But 3 men entered that tunnel with me. And only one came back out. And sometimes, late at night, when every sound in my apartment suddenly stops, I hear a faint whistle coming from somewhere beneath the floor. The same whistle we were warned never to make. If you ever find yourself deep underground and someone gives you a rule that sounds ridiculous, follow it. Some rules aren't made to protect your job. Some rules are made to keep you alive. My name isn't important. For obvious reasons, I will call myself Ethan. I worked maintenance for the city's subway system for 6 years. Most people think it's a boring job. Replace a light, fix a leak, check some wiring. They are wrong. The underground is a different world. No sunlight, no wind, no sense of time. Just endless tunnels stretching beneath the city, like veins beneath skin. And some parts of those tunnels were never meant to be entered. The day everything changed, I was assigned to a section known as the Black Line. Officially, it didn't exist. The tunnel had been sealed after a collapse nearly a century ago, removed from maps, forgotten. At least, that's what the city wanted people to believe. My partner was a man named Miller. Nobody knew exactly how long he'd worked underground. He was quiet. Well, too quiet, I guess. The kind of man who checked dark corners before speaking. The kind of man who never laughed at stories about abandoned tunnels. Back then, I thought he was paranoid. Now, I think he knew something. The rest of us didn't. When our supervisor handed us the assignment, the room went silent. Nobody volunteered, nobody joked, nobody even complained. That should have bothered me. Instead, I laughed it off. Before we left, the supervisor stopped us. His face looked pale, almost sick. "One rule," he said. "Stay quiet." I smirked. He continued, "No shouting, no unnecessary talking." Then he looked each of us directly in the eye. "And whatever happens, do not whistle." Nobody laughed, not even Jackson. That should have been my second warning. A few hours later, me, Miller, Jackson, and Lee descended into the depths beneath the city. The elevator groaned all the way down. Metal screamed against metal. The deeper we went, the colder the air became. I remember staring at the floor indicator, watching the numbers fall, and feeling an irrational urge to tell them to stop the elevator and send us back up. I ignored it. The doors opened. Darkness waited beyond them. Not originally darkness. This felt heavier, like the tunnel was holding its breath. The entrance to the Black Line sat behind a rusted iron door, covered in faded warning signs. Jackson laughed. "Looks like every horror movie ever made." Nobody answered. We unlocked the door. The hinges screamed. Then the smell hit us. Wet concrete, rust, rotting water, and something else. Something old, something buried. For several seconds nobody moved. Our flashlight beams vanished into the darkness. The tunnel seemed to swallow light itself. Then Jackson stepped forward, smiled, and whistled. The sound sliced through the tunnel. It echoed once, twice, then disappeared. The silence that followed felt wrong. Miller grabbed Jackson by the collar. "Don't!" That was all he said. But I never seen fear like that before. Not fear, terror. The kind that comes from surviving something once and praying you never see it again. For the next few hours, nothing happened. At least that's what I kept telling myself. Then, Jackson suddenly froze. He stopped working, stopped moving, stopped blinking. What? I asked. He didn't answer right away. When he finally turned toward us, my stomach dropped. The color had completely drained from his face. I think somebody called my name. The tunnel stretched endlessly around us. Silent. Empty. Miller never even looked up. Ignore it, he said. Jackson laughed nervously, but he kept glancing into the darkness. And for the first time that night, I felt afraid. Not because of what he heard, because of how terrified he looked. Later, we stopped beside an old electrical alcove for a break. Nobody talked. The silence felt too sick. Then we heard it. Everyone froze. The sound came from inside the concrete wall beside us, not behind it, inside it. Like something trapped within the concrete was trying to get out. A chill crawled up my spine. I kept telling myself there had to be a rational explanation. Old pipes, shifting foundations, anything. But deep down, I already knew something was wrong. Then, the tapping stopped. A voice replaced it. At first, it sounded like static. Then, whispering. Then words.
We are here.
My blood turned to ice. The voice wasn't coming from the tunnel. It was coming from inside the wall. Jackson stepped closer, hypnotized. Who is there? Miller shot to his feet. Do not answer them. Too late. Jackson pressed his ear against the concrete. The moment he did it, everything changed. His face collapsed. His eyes filled with tears. What do you hear? I asked. He looked at me, but somehow it felt like he was looking through me. It's my mom. A chill shot through my chest. His mother had died years ago. She's crying, he whispered. She says she's trapped. The wall erupted. Dozens of voices, hundreds, whispering, laughing, begging, scratching. The concrete vibrated beneath our hands. The tunnel felt alive. Then everything stopped. Instantly. Complete silence. And from somewhere deep in the darkness came a whistle. The exact whistle Jackson had made earlier. Every note, every pause, perfectly copied, but slower. Like something had spent hours practicing it. I felt my heart pounding, so hard it hurt. The whistle came again. Closer. Beneath it, I heard another sound. A wet, rattling noise. Like air moving through a throat that shouldn't be able to breathe. Jackson started crying. Then he stood. My mom needs me. His voice barely sounded human. I wanted to stop him. Every instinct told me to grab him, but fear rooted me to the floor. I can still see him, walking away, slowly, calmly, toward the darkness, like a man following someone he loved. The shadows swallowed him inch by inch. His flashlight drifted farther away, then stopped. We waited. 10 seconds. 20. 30. Then the beam tilted upward, as though someone else had picked it up. A wet, jeering sound echoed through the tunnel, followed by a crunch. Then silence. No scream, nothing. Jackson was gone. And that's the part that still keeps me awake. He never screamed. Lee completely broke. Jackson? His scream echoed through the tunnel. Then the tunnel screamed back. Jackson? Dozens of voices, then hundreds, all using Lee's voice, all mocking him. The darkness suddenly felt crowded, like we were surrounded by things we couldn't see. Something thick dripped from the ceiling. Black liquid splashed onto my shoulder. Our flashlights flickered, then died. Every single one. Darkness swallowed us whole. I pulled out my emergency light. The weak beam illuminated only a few feet ahead. Lee was gone. 1 second he was beside us. The next, he wasn't. His flashlight rolled slowly across the tracks. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think, couldn't move. Then I heard something above me, scrapping, dragging, something moving across the ceiling, keeping pace with us. Miller grabbed my arm. We run! I don't remember feeling brave. I remember pure panic. My lungs burned. My legs felt numb. Every second, I expected cold fingers to wrap around my ankle. The sounds followed us, not footsteps. Bones, thousands of bones, scraping against concrete. Whispers brushed against my ears, calling my name, begging me to turn around. I never did. Finally, we reached the iron door. The elevator waited beyond it. Miller showed me through, then stopped. I turned. Come on! For the first time all night, he smiled, and something inside me broke. Because it wasn't a human smile. It stretched too wide, too far, like skin pulled over something pretending to be a man. Behind him, pale faces emerged from the darkness. Dozens of them, every single one wearing the same smile. Miller. His eyes never left mine. I have been here longer than you think, Ethan. Then, he slammed the iron door shut. The lock crushed into place. A second later, something struck the other side. Hard. Then again, and again. The metal bent inward. I ran for the elevator. As the doors began closing, whistles echoed up the shaft. Hundreds, maybe thousands. Then, they changed. The whistles became voices. My voice, calling my name. Ethan, come back. The doors finally closed, but the voices followed me all the way to the surface. The official report blamed a tunnel collapse. Jackson and Lee were declared dead. Their bodies were never recovered, but the strangest discovery came later. When investigators searched employment records, they found no evidence Miller had ever worked for the Transit Authority. No personal file, no payroll records, no employee ID, nothing. According to every official document, he never existed. I quit the next morning. I left the city, moved somewhere with sunlight, somewhere above ground. But I never escaped that place. I sleep with every light on. I keep the television running at night. I avoid tunnels, basements, subway stations, anything underground, because silence terrifies me now. And sometimes, in the middle of the night, every sound in my apartment suddenly stops. No traffic, no humming refrigerator, no television, nothing, just silence. And every single time I hear it, a distant whistle, somewhere beneath the floor. Slow, patient, waiting, and every year it sounds a little closer than before.